Hello, heretics. Welcome to Men Metal Mayhem, the podcast where the Brothers Men take a deep dive into the discographies of our favorite metal bands. I'm your host, Brother Paul, joined as ever by my two brothers and co-hosts, Brother John
Brothers, I'm amazed by you.
and Brother Dave.
What's cooking, boyos?
Season 4 Blasphemers. We are diving into the world of blasphemous and anti-religious metal, and today we are discussing Old Man's Child 2000 album Revelation 666, The Curse of Damnation. Join us in this passage to Pandemonium. Released March 13th, 2000. Brother John, give us the top hits of the day. Tell us what you were up to and hit us with your album highlight.
With pleasure, Brother Paul. So, the top 40 had a few different bangers that are enduring classics. Coming in at number one, Say My Name by Destiny's Child. Number two, the inimitable Amazed by Lone Star. Hence why I'm amazed by you. And coming in at number five, Baby Bye Bye Bye. It was In Sync, laying that hit on us. Number
Nice.
11, All the Small Things by Blink 182. That seems so long ago. And you know what? I guess it was like over a quarter century ago now. But who could forget number 16, The Thong Song by Cisco?
A timeless classic.
Timeless. And number 32, Blue Dabba by Eiffel 65. So a lot of bangers that week on the top 40. What was I up to? So this time I would have been just about to finish up my junior year of high school. And this is when Appleton Christian School, the high school era, was coming to an end because it was combining with Oshkosh Christian to form what would become known as Valley Christian School. Do you guys remember, Brother Dave? I guess, Paul, you probably wouldn't have been participating in this, but Brother Dave, I think you would have. But they had an assembly with all the kids from both the high schools. And my recollection is that it was in order to basically talk about some different things and put to a vote to determine what the mascot and the school colors should be, among other things, and maybe even the name of the school.
I
And
vaguely remember that. And I
yeah,
also kind of remember that they took a vote and then they decided to not go with what the vote
yes,
was.
that's exactly. I was going to say I could be misremembering this, but I swear the most votes went to, and I don't remember what we were voting for the name, if maybe Valley Christian was the one that got the most votes, but the mascot, the most votes went to the Griffins, and the most votes for the school colors went to red and black. But they basically said, no, we're going to go with blue and silver and the Warriors. So, like, why have a vote if you're just going to
Yeah.
override the vote? And I think, like, blue and silver is probably second, and the Warriors was in there somewhere, but, you know, they were not a democracy
Nope.
band.
And they did a
People,
real bad job of rigging it because we all saw it happening in real time.
yeah. I mean, they didn't say, well, we're gonna like get the top three, and then the administration will choose what we like the most. They're like, we'll put it to a vote. Winner is the winner, or whatever. That's how they made it seem, and it was not. So,
That
instead
that
of being the black and red Griffins, we were the blue and silver Warriors.
that literally just sounds like a foreshadowing of the 2000 election between Bush and Gore.
Classic evangelical Christianity.
Blatantly stolen in real time in front of our faces.
Oh boy. Yeah, all right. Well, so there was quite a few different albums that caught my eye from the year 2000, but one that I hadn't really thought of in quite a long time was Deftones' White Pony. And I remember I listened to that quite a bit back in the day, and I listened to it again this past week, having not heard it in a long time. And I'd say this one still holds up. It's pretty good. It's new metal ostensibly, but they have a pretty unique sound. I can't think of any other bands that really sound quite like them. It's like haunting at times, ambient at times, and aggressive alt rock new metal kind of throughout. But yeah, pretty unique sound. And I really love that song Change in the House of Flies off that album. But there's a bunch of good ones on that. So I would definitely recommend people check it out and see what you think if you haven't already heard this. But the one thing it does kind of bring me back to, I recall listening to this a lot when I was sort of sad and depressed. And it has sort of like a depressive vibe to it as well. So, you know, it's not one that I would put on repeat, generally speaking, but it does have some interesting stuff to offer. So check it out. Brother Dave, other than attending that assembly with me and having all of our votes just thrown out, what else were you up to back then?
Yeah, I had noted down that this was right around the time our schools were merging, but I can't really think of anything else important that was going on in my life at that point. So let's just go on to my album pick. And 2000 was a really good year for really good bands and good releases. And it was a bit tough to choose, but I gotta go with just an absolute banger of an album, which is Clayman by In Flames.
That was on my
Oh,
short list, but so I'm glad I didn't pick it. And you have
yeah.
done us
I
all a service.
I knew that by choosing this one and not consulting with you bros first, I was running a risk. And we'll see what Brother Paul chooses. But um, I feel like at this point in time, Swedish melodeath had like found itself as a genre. There's always kind of some exploration before it all sort of congeals around a sound. And I think Clayman might sort of be that to some extent. Unlike Colony, which came before it, which I also love, maybe even a little more. Clayman is solid from start to finish,
Hmm.
and it delves into themes of personal struggle rather than like cosmic horror, which is kind of where In Flames was at a lot of the time beforehand. So I appreciate that. It also does kind of foreshadow, I think, where In Flames would go after that, where it was a more accessible sound and it was, I think, lyrical content wise, this is kind of where they hung out for the rest of their career, as far as I know. But this is before they kind of like, I don't know, go on a different trajectory. I think this is near the peak of their career, and it's just a really good album from start to finish, and I love it. Brother Paul.
Well, I am going to skip talking about where I was in 2000 and instead focus on the present because I have a concert report.
Oh, heck
Oh, hell
yeah.
yeah.
That is right. This past Thursday night, I reunited with my concert bro, Matt, and we went and we saw Frozen Soul and Fleshgod Apocalypse open for Avatar. And I'll be honest, I'm not super familiar with these bands, but both the Castle Rat and the Corrosion of Conformity shows sold out. So I decided to just go for it, especially since you boys rave about Fleshgod so much.
We do. It's true.
Oh, so you're saying you have not really listened to much Fleshgod Apocalypse? I
So
I thought you had, but
so in the past, when they were like first coming out, their first couple albums, and you boys discovered them and were raving about them, I gave them a shot and I liked them, but they didn't stick with me. But recently, I have been listening to more, mostly to like prep for this show that I was going to, and so I'm familiar, but I'm not like, oh, I'm a huge Flesh God fan. I have to go see them. And I've listened to Frozen Soul. They're very much like Bolt Thrower-esque, chuggy, riffy straight up death metal from Texas. And Avatar, they were the wild card, which is why I almost didn't go because I'm like, well, they're the headliner. I don't know them, and I would see pictures of them and be like, no, I don't care for this. But I went, and I'm really glad I did because Frozen Soul was really, really good. And Avatar was really enjoyable. They have had a long career and they have changed genres so much, but there's always metal in there. But so the thing that turned me off is like their lead singer, their aesthetic is like evil traveling circus clown thing. And it's
Sounds right up my alley.
yeah, one might say dark cabaret.
I love the callback.
I know, but they put on a wonderful show. It was great. The music, so sometimes, they came out in their first song, it's almost like this folk metal song, and I was like, I didn't know these guys had a folk metal period. And then they're doing stuff, and I'm like, this is just straight up, 2000s Melodeath. And then they got more recently, it's more kind of that hard rock, real melodic, catchy, big choruses, you know, a lot more accessible, kind of what Ghost is, but better, I'd say, because it's tinged with metal and they they really nail it and they put on a fun show. A lot of like costume changes, and they had a like the middle of the stage the drum kit could split open. They had like a movable or retractable conveyor thing, so they would like go in and out. And at one point, somebody came out on a throne, and they're just wheeling out, and the lights are wheeling all around, and so they were really fun. But let's talk about Fleshgod because they were pretty much the reason why I ended up going. They were great. And they succeeded in spite of having one of the shittiest sound mixes I'd ever heard. I, after their set finished, I looked at my buddy Matt and I said, "Did you hear a guitar that entire time?" Because
Oh, jeez.
it was all bass and drums. And so the mix was garbage, but they were having the time of their lives. They were so dramatic. It was basically if theater kids found death metal, and it was a lot of fun. Crowd was loving it. It was great. It was super enjoyable. So I'm really glad I went and saw them. I'm really bummed that I got, kind of robbed of a great experience due to just how terrible the mix was. Yeah, it was my first time at this venue, and I didn't enjoy that aspect, but I liked it. Very highly recommend checking them out. But with that, let's move on to my album pick. And no need for worry because there is no overlap. I knew you boys wouldn't pick this one. I am going with Apoptygma Berzerk's Welcome to Earth album. And this is one of my bleep blop bands that I loved back in the day and I still really enjoy. And it is entirely possible that I discovered these guys due to their cover of Metallica's Fade to Black that was on the Blackest album, an industrial tribute to Metallica. This album is just pure 2000s future pop, and it is so catchy. And I should note that their guitarist, Gear Bratland, has been a session member of Dimmu Borgir since 2010. And with that, let us move on to the contemporaries of Old Man's Child. First off, we have Gorgoroth came out with their album Incipit Satan. This is an evil sounding album, but it is plotting and poorly produced black metal, and above all, it's boring. This one is a swing and a fucking miss. Then we have Goat Whore with their album The Eclipse of Ages into Black, their debut album. These guys feature on guitar one of the guitarists of Acid Bath, so they are black metal, but tinged with that Nolans Bayou sound. So definitely worth checking out. A lot of fun. And when originally planning out this season, when I had like 24 albums, both these bands were on the long list, but for various reasons, they didn't make the cut. And I do want to say this was also the year that Between the Buried and Me formed, along with our good friends at As I Lay Dying and Demon Hunter. Both paragons of Christian virtue there. And I should I should note the day I went to the Fleshgod and Avatar show, Demon Hunter was playing in town as well. And so
Boo.
I thought about going to see them, but didn't want to waste my life nor give them money. So let us move on to the personnel. And playing on this album, we have Galder on vocals, guitar, and synths. And this year in 2000 is the year that he actually went and joined Dimmu as their guitarist, which is, how he became probably more well known to the community. But I think this is their fourth album already, Old Man Child. And Jardar is also on guitars. And then we have Memnok on bass. Choldov, he plays drums on 4 tracks, and Grimar plays drums on the other 4 tracks. Produced by Galder and Peter Tegtrin, it was released via Century Media Records. And so when building this season, I wanted some symphonic black metal, because that was really the style that we were into when we discovered black metal. And I initially thought about doing a Dimmu album, but I held off because we might give them their own season. But then I realized we have the next best thing to Dimmu. We had Galder himself, who the same year becomes their guitarist. So, plus, I also just wanted to include Galder because he's a goofy dude.
He's a character.
He's just like this bald. Every picture of him, he's like smiling and looking wacky. It's like, how do you take him seriously?
Can I just say, too, I wasn't really too familiar with him at all, but you sent around a picture. I was like, oh, look at this guy. He looks to me like a black metal Stone Cold Steve Austin. I mean, they may be separated at birth or something. They have very similar look to them, just like different style.
Yeah. Oh. Well, this album is 8 tracks long, just over 40 minutes, and it kicks off with track number 1, Phantoms of Mortem Tales. Brother John.
Oh, all right. Well, Galder 316 represent. So I know that I had heard, I can't remember which one it was. I had a different Old Man's Child album that I've listened to a few times, but not in like the last probably about 15 years or so. So it's been a really long time, and I didn't really recall what they even sounded like. But right out of the gate, this song, it sounds pretty good. It's got that nice orchestral synth backing and the dark black metal vibes. So as I was getting into this, I was like, oh, nice, right in my wheelhouse. This is the black metal I'm looking for. At about 1:15, they kind of go into this jaunty rhythm, which is sort of folk metal inspired, a la Fintroll. And at 4:30, again, very Fintroll-esque, the stuff that they're doing. So, it's checking off a lot of the boxes of what I enjoy, and I'm excited to hear more. Brother Dave.
First notable thing I thought about this album was that it didn't start with chiming church bells or eerie wind blowing or anything. There was just some brief ambience, and then it launched into the first riff. So I don't know. We're beyond the good and evil or something. This song is like a lot of really classic, maybe even tropey black metal, but it's past that first and second wave, so it's so much more listenable than a lot of the other stuff we've listened to. I also called out that 1:15 section where it just gets really bouncy. And he does that a lot. I also did have one of their later albums, Vermin, but I don't think I ever got into it deep enough to even look up who played in the band. So I wasn't aware that this was Galder of Dimmu Borgir fame, in my mind. But there's stuff here that sounds like mid-period Dimmu Borgir also. Like at like 140, like this could absolutely be on a Dimmu Borgir album. Um, the weird part in this song was at 2:35, where he's doing, I think it's guitar tapping, but it gives it kind of like a techno feel almost. And then he gets some sort of synthy bleeps and bloops in there that turn into full chords that have a very techno feel, and it just feels a little silly almost. Parts in this song. And then later at 4:35, we get these fake trumpets, which is like an evil carnival or mariachi band. And it's just like so weird. I
Yeah,
love it,
that stuff,
but it
Fintroll has
is,
that same sound in some of their
yes,
songs. They use that a lot, actually, and that's what it really spoke to me at that exact part.
it was
I kind of
hard to
liked
take
it, though.
seriously, but I did like it. Brother Paul, I'd like to hear what you have to say.
So yeah, I don't really have history with Old Man's Child. I'm sure I've listened to them at some point in the past, just checking them out, but I no, never owned an album, don't have any strong recollection. Knew it was Galder, so I was like, we gotta do them. So I knew that we would all be talking about 115 when it goes real bouncy. I called it oompa, like almost polka.
Yeah. Yep.
Hmm.
That's the feel, and it's jaunty and fun. So don't need to retread that. I am surprised that Brother Dave, you always word for word called out. I had written first line, no wind-based atmospheric openers needed here. This one is just, it is well-produced symphonic black metal. It builds, and I like the instrumental of the pre-chorus. There are a lot of sneaky synths going on in this one. Yes, that horn section at like 440 is cheesy, but it's not bad. I don't know. I like a little cheese with my black metal sometimes.
Hmm.
It- yeah. So overall, I like this song. I think it's well done.
And I mean, maybe this is a bit of a spoiler. I kind of wish there was more cheese throughout the rest of this album.
Yes. Yes, I agree. Well, let's move on to track number two, Hominis Nocturna. Brother Dave.
This one kicks off bouncy again, and it makes heavy use of those. They're synths, but they're kind of like bells sort of
Like
thing. It's that sound
harpsichord
that,
synths, I would say.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's the sound that Finnish extreme power metal uses all the time.
Yes, Eternal Tears of Sorrow uses it a ton. I have that in my notes, and they're one of those Finnish extreme power metal bands, but not quite exactly the same as like wow, why am I saying it? Children of Bodom. There's a few bands that sound really like Children of Bodom. Eternal
Hmm.
Tears of Sorrow is a little bit different, but they use that harpsichord synth a lot in their stuff.
Yeah. So this one, they're leaning into it. I think this song has a lot of genre tropes again. It's all super well performed. Galder is a really tight guitarist, and like I find nothing to criticize about his playing. But at the same time, there's not a whole lot on this song that really stands out to me either. It just kind of seems like solid third wave or whatever wave we're in of black metal at this point. The the most notable part was at 314, maybe Galder 316, where it's a spoken word section. And then it's got a nice long pick scrape going on behind it, which I did appreciate. Brother John.
Yeah, well, I already kind of said some of the stuff from my notes, but one thing that you mentioned was, I forget how you phrased it, but basically it's like solid, but there's nothing too like catchy about it or something like that. And that was kind of how I was feeling most of the time, but then I listened to it enough times and eventually there's this one riff. It was at 147. There's like this sort of catchy bridge part. Whole album, that was the part that ended up getting stuck in my head and is a cool riff, and they finished the song off on that riff too, so they come back to it a couple more times. But that was sort of my perception of the album. Like the first 5 times I listened to it, it's like, this is all good and it's like played very well and produced very well, but there's nothing like too catchy or hooky about it. But then I guess I just listened enough times and eventually the hooks found me or or something. And like the vocals, there's not like a vocal line in a black metal song that's typically going to get stuck in your head because it's just, not catchy vocal wise. So it's got to be like one of those guitar lines that comes back and sticks with you. And eventually it did, but other than this, I couldn't tell you how a single song in this album sounds other than I liked them. But yeah, it's just more of that good symphonic black metal, and it's no surprise he went on to be in Dimmu Borgir because the sounds are pretty comparable. So that's pretty much, and yeah, that spoken word part, it's like an evil incantation is what I have in my notes. But overall, pretty good stuff, Brother Paul.
You talking about the hooks getting into you. I just imagine Galder as Pinhead from Hellraiser shooting his hooks into you after you listen to the album 5 times. I have
finally
such black metal to show you.
cracked the puzzle and paid the price.
Yes, the very, keys heavy intro before we go into the black metal. That big pick scrape. That won't be the last time we hear one of those on this album. And it's followed by a nice solo. And then that solo was followed by some real crazy blast beats and synths. This is a good song. I hear what you're saying about maybe it just leans into the genre and embraces that and doesn't do much to stand out. But I think this song is really good.
Or did Galder kind of create the genre? I mean, I guess I haven't listened to enough symphonic black metal to really know, but
yeah,
there's a lot of stuff that Dimmu has, but he's in Dimmu, so like, is he just writing all this stuff, and is he the progenitor of this genre that we love?
Right, like that's what I was thinking, because I was surprised by how active Old Man's Child had been before Dimmu Borgir, before he joined in that. And it seemed like he was kind of doing his own thing, and maybe he was kind of making up the genre to some extent. I guess I don't know my black metal history enough to say whether that's true or not, but Paul, maybe you do.
I do not, but I mean, it seems like I read the promo around this, and Peter Tektrin said, "Watch out, Dimmu! There's someone coming for you. It's Old Man's Child." Like, so I think Dimmu was maybe the originators, we'll say, but like Old Man's Child was right along at the same time,
And then they did a hostile takeover.
yeah,
or
Took
it's like,
Galder for a while.
yep.
yeah,
Before
he did
antitrust laws came in and made them break up.
he did so much Dimmu fan fiction. They're like, okay, you can be part of the band.
I just imagine the government of Norway being like, we have to break up this monopoly and we're gonna split up Dimmu.
It's too big to fail.
I mean, Dimmu is an institution at this point, so
Yeah, they should just make him Prime Minister of Norway.
they really should just give him a shot. Well, that takes us to track number 3 in Black Endless Void. We get a very ominous symphonic intro, and then the build up into the first verse, starting at like 55 seconds, is really good. I like the section at 240. It's kind of like some riffing followed by another big old like dive bomb. Hey, another good song. Another good song. Brother John.
So you said this one starts out ominous. I have in my notes, and I don't exactly recall how it goes, but starts out with something almost sounding like medieval times. Like there's
Yes.
trumpets sounding the war cry more or less. I guess to me that didn't strike me as ominous so
It's
much, but it
horns
is
and
a
timpani.
yeah, exactly. It's like it is a classic symphonic black metal thing that you hear in a lot of Dimmu songs as well. But then they come in with the chugs and the black metal riffs, and by 30 seconds, it's some wild tremolo picking and blast beats. So, they're laying it all on us. Ultimately, it's more great symphonic black metal stuff. And my notes here are like, I like everything they're doing musically, though the songs aren't sticking in my head so far. No real hooks. So that was kind of the through line. But then eventually the hooks found me a little bit from song number 2. But, still solid stuff. I like what I'm hearing.
Yeah. I was much in that same boat as Brother John, where I was like, I like the riffs in this one. They've got that classic triplet heavy black metal feel. Uh, they're nice. That said, and then it looks like I got distracted in my notes and didn't finish that. I was probably trying to find the right wording, but it's basically, where are the hooks? This is
That's
really good.
completely forgettable.
I think the interesting thing that stands out to me on this song is how in the main verse riff, he just has an extra bar of 4/4. So you're like, oh, the riff should be done, but it's still going. What's going on here? And it kind of makes you kind of sit up and be like, take note of this song. The other thing that stands out to me on this song is the lyrical content. And I'd like to open up our section, lyrical tactics, vocal gymnastics.
Lyrical tactics, vocal gymnastics.
Take us away. And can I just say, did you say saction?
This section, yeah, it was a real bag slapper. And so I actually don't know what I said. Um, I like, Brother Paul, that you made the Hellraiser reference on the last song because there's like, I feel like there's two sort of sides to this album. And one side of this album is very Hellraiser Event Horizon coded to
Mm-hmm.
me, where it's not so much about Satan, it's about understanding the cosmos and having your awareness awakened, and like evil plays into that. That's like how he seems to be awakening his third eye or whatever, but it's almost like tangential to what happens. And so I think it's like this song is pretty short lyrically, but it's like uh beyond the limits of our imagination, beyond the stars of the unknown, far away from the sun's light in dark infinity, the cosmic realms. He like flies into black holes. He's like flying through space, but also talking about black holes of hell's abyss. And I think it's a just fun, interesting take on the often tired tropes of evil is cool that is black metal most of the time. What did you boys think?
Yeah, I think like this, it's truly just like evocative of vast cosmic emptiness and blackness and horror. He's like basically describing a scary void and that like the reality of existence being that. It's a little Lovecraftian, I thought. But yeah, also like you're saying, Event Horizon and Hellraiser, all those kind of things are in that wheelhouse. And then at the end, he says, "We fly among the angels of sin." So he paints it as like a scary reality, staring into this vast emptiness and horror of cosmic reality. And then he does seem pretty excited to be adventuring into that area and chilling with demons, essentially. So,
Right, but that also plays into the event horizonness of it, right? Because then I've watched that movie once, but don't they, the people who go to hell eventually love hell,
oh,
right?
I don't think
Yes.
so.
Yeah,
Wait, did they?
they do.
I mean, the one guy like seemed to be taken. I'd have to watch that movie again.
Hey,
But like Sam
we'll have to
Neill,
do a special
yes.
episode.
Oh, we probably should. Movie review. But
Yeah.
like Sam Neill is like kind of taken over by the hellish entity, but everybody else was pretty much eviscerated and not having a good time. So
I think it
maybe it
was they were
depends.
eviscerated and having a good time. I mean,
Oh,
not the crew that goes to the Event Horizon, but the crew on Event Horizon. Spoilers for this movie from 1997. They, use
Yeah,
their
the ones who actually went to hell and came back, not the ones who go to
oh, they
figure out what
were
happened.
they were
yeah.
flying among the angels of sin, having a great time. All right.
Yeah, so my thoughts are like going through, I knew I wanted to do Old Man's Child and I saw the album title Revelation 666, The Curse of Damnation. So I was like, well, it's gotta be evil. But then kind of diving into it, it is much more, it's so cosmic in nature.
Mhm.
I mean, in a later song, Obscure Divine Manifestation, he's talking about like flying past the
He's just
planets.
naming
He's
planets.
Yeah.
naming planets and
Like
moons.
Jupiter's moons.
Europa's brother Io proudly stands tall, and and he's a lot of black hole talk, and like that's
A
where
lot of
the
black hole
a
talk.
lot of black hole talk. It's crazy. But yeah, and I like it. I like that at least in this mythos, like evil or the unknown dimension isn't necessarily like the Christian version of hell. It's this alternate world that lives within the darkness of a black hole. You, and I think it's really cool. Um, Flying around in space with the angels of sin and transcending the earth. I think it's maybe the last song. No, it's World Exploration starts Earthlings Beware. It's like you're calling people
Yes.
Earthlings, like that's crazy. So yeah, I'm glad you chose this one. But yeah, that's the kind of the big through line is like let's shed Earth to go explore the stars and find the evil beyond our imaginations out there. So a lot of fun lyrically, I think. Which takes us to track number 4, Unholy Vivid Innocence, Brother John.
All right. So the very first note on this, it sounds kind of like a tremolo dive bomb, I think. And Dave, maybe you can confirm, but it's just a real quick slide, but it sounds like he's doing the tremolo picking as he's doing it. It's just like a quick beat right at the very beginning, but I thought that was pretty cool.
I
I
think
don't
it
know if
might be
you.
whammy shenanigans.
Oh, well, it
with
could be. I don't know. I don't know
uh,
much about guitar other than it's an instrument that I've seen
It
played.
sounds cool.
Yeah, exactly. It did. But like from there, it goes into kind of a straight 4/4 with cool orchestral synths filling out the epic sound. Another good start to a song. By 44 seconds, they lay the blast beats on us, but we've still got those soaring synths backing it up. So, basically more of the same. The songs are all enjoyable. Couldn't really differentiate them. It's like, you know, I have no clue what this song sounded like, but I know that I liked it. And ends on a fade out for Brother Paul.
My favorite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Brother Paul, what'd you think?
I think the symphonic elements really work on this one. And I recall the verses are pretty chaotic, and then they got this nice melodic chorus, and there is some nice tom work at about the 3 minute mark. So throwing in a little something for Brother Dave and me. I love nice tom work. Again, a good song, Brother Dave.
this song was maybe one of the most memorable on this album for me, but not in a good way. the main verse riff, I was like, I've heard this before, haven't I? Weren't we just listening to it? And then I'd go back and listen to the last song and be like, no, that's not like I don't know why this riff seemed so memorable from somewhere. Like I'd been listening to it for like 30 minutes straight, and the first time he plays it, I'm like, I'm done with this riff. I'm just so done with this. Uh, I don't know what's going on there, but it just was not working for me. I think maybe it might have something to do with the tempo and the drum pattern is just kind of very similar, even though the riff is technically different. I thought it wore out its welcome, and then it also was played a lot. Then the solo on this song at 3 minutes 30, when he's doing that Tom stuff, it's more riffing than true soloing. And I think kind of like with Sakis Tolis, I think that Galder is a rhythm guitarist at heart. And he does these solos that are good, but he could benefit from having a true lead player, I think, on some of these. So overall, this song, a bit of a miss for me, and I'm sad to say it.
Well, let's see how you feel about track number 5, Passage to Pandemonium.
I had one line written about this song. These songs are starting to sound very similar to one another. Didn't we just hear this main riff? I feel like Old Man's Child is the living sacrifice of black metal.
Yeah, we finished that one and we're like, what were any of the songs? I mean, we enjoyed them all. They're just kind of like finding their groove and they hit pretty good, but it's like, yeah, they all kind of sound the same and
Yeah,
couldn't really
but
tell you what any of them sounded like.
they're all basically the same tempo. They're all kind of the same mishmash of classic black metal stuff. So it's like you can't really fault them for it, but I don't I don't know what's special about this song other than it's fine. It's good.
Yeah. I thought at about 50 seconds, I say this one has a slightly more memorable riff. I like what they're doing with that. Now I don't recall what it sounds like. But at the time that I wrote the notes, I was like, oh, that's nice. I do want to call out our segment, Bring the Mosh. Which doesn't usually happen in a black metal song, but at a minute 17, they're coming out of that riff that I liked, and then there's this breakdown where the guitars are doing something cool, and they break the beat down to halftime, and then they come back out of that straight back into a blast beat, but they have this little breakdown there right in the middle of the song. Then they pepper some spooky Bodom piano synths in at 216. Very nice, very evil. So, another good one. A lot more the same for the most part, but still good.
Yes. So I think the thing about this riff, and I wonder if it's a rhythm guitarist thing, is this riff ends in a big pinch harmonic, the main riff, which is what Sakis Tolis does also on his album. And this one doesn't quite wear out its welcome like it does on Sakis on a couple of his songs. Yeah, so it's a nice catchy riff. There is a tempo shift at 2 minutes, and then that goes into that sweet keyboard solo that you were talking about, Brother John. And now in my notes is when I said, this is a good song. However, I want to be clear that I'm using the word good and not great because I have all the same thoughts you boys do. And I think calling Old Man's Child, the living sacrifice of black metal is a very accurate and apt way to put it. Because, yes, I like all of these songs so far. And I feel like maybe I remember parts of them better, but it's all variations of the same thing, but they're all so well done. They're
Mhm.
really well done. I mean, Galder, he
Yeah.
knows how to structure a song. There's but they all follow kind of the same structure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like the Taco Bell of albums. There's like 5 ingredients just thrown together in different mishmashes, and it all tastes pretty good. And it's good for you, just like Taco Bell.
Yeah, absolutely. But I do want to open up our segment, lyrical tactics, vocal gymnastics.
Lyrical tactics, vocal gymnastics.
If only briefly, because this is a song that kind of highlights the other through line of the album, which is about Satan. And this one
Mm-hmm.
is very offerings for Satan we kill, death, his lust and desire. Come be children of divine eternal fire. And this one is very blatantly about giving yourself over to Satan, because you know what? It's pretty awesome, at least in this worldview. Do you? Oh, I do think at the end of one of the verses, it says, "Be a god without fate." And I think that is sort of a concept that flows throughout a lot of, you know, pro Satan music, is that you're not, you're free and you're not bound by anything, even though you've given yourself over to Satan, but you're not shackled by God.
Yeah, it's not clear to me whether Satan is like the Satan of the Bible or if it's just metaphor of, because like Satanism, at least some brands of it, don't actually believe in the Christian
Right.
God. And
Correct.
so it might just be that he's essentially ascending to godhood by embracing his own freedom to do whatever the hell he wants, which is seems like a lot of murder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe he needs God if that's going to hold him back from
Yeah.
murdering people. I don't know.
Well, when you
Uh,
start worshiping that giant black hole event horizon in the sky, it drives you to murder.
right. I did wonder, like, what is his actual, like, what does he believe is real? Because, like, when we talked about, like, all last season with all the Christian songs and just growing up, like, people legit believe that what they're saying is real and reality. But like, does he actually believe that he could do something and become a powerful godlike entity and just like embrace the murder and the Holocaust of violence to I can't imagine that he
This
truly
doesn't,
believes that that is real. It's more
yeah,
like he's
this
leaning
doesn't
into the
feel like an
aesthetics.
ideology.
Yeah, it's like he likes the dark aesthetics and it's cool
Hmm.
to think about like, ooh, what if that was real? And I could be so powerful and who cares if everyone's getting murdered? But I don't get the impression that most bands that sing about these sorts of themes and concepts and ideas really believe that it's real to the point where they would try to act out something. I mean, there's exceptions to that, but
Right. Like
yeah.
this is very like explicitly violent and whatnot, but I don't get that morally bankrupt feel from this like I do from Demon Hunter.
Hmm.
Like Demon Hunter is actively evil, and this is playing at evil.
Hmm.
It's aesthetics, like you said. Um, and I would guess that Galder, I don't know what he really believes, but I would guess he doesn't actually believe any of this, and it's not intended to be believed either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point.
I hope so, because if he truly believes this, it's like, ooh, watch out for that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, you see a big smiling bald dude that looks like a Norwegian black metal stone cold
Yeah,
Steve.
smashing some beers and throwing them at the crowd, all that stuff. You never know what's going to happen next
Then
with
he
this
just
maniac.
and then he just flies away into space. That's crazy.
Yep. Be born again in the Twilight's myth. Arise from the flickering, be a god without fate. That's him.
Yeah. Well, let us move on to track number 6, Obscure Divine Manifestation. Big dive bombs right out of the gate, which is a lot of fun.
Hell yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I like the orchestral keyboard flourishes punctuating parts of this song. We also get lots of like blaz on this one, which I'm a huge fan of. But boy, his vocal meter is non-existent on the verses. It's words following no sense of rhythm. And that's just an observation. That is not a judgment on if that's good or bad. It just is. And then there are whammy shenanigans slash dive bombs at the instrumental break at 3:14. I don't know. I love it. Brother Dave.
I do love parts of this song. Those big theatrical over the top parts really draw me in. What doesn't work for me on this song is the blast beats. At 2:31, the drums feel off. And this is a common-ish issue that I have with blast beats, so maybe it's a me, like how I hear them isn't how they're intended to be heard, and they're being played fine, and my ears are broken. But it always feels like the drums are behind the beat, which is crazy because the drums are supposed to be keeping the beat. And I think it's the specific type of blast beat that they're doing here. And whenever I get to those sections and they come up on, I think, the next song also, I'm just out of it because it's orally confusing to me. Brother John?
Yeah, I think I this is probably my least favorite one on the album, and it's a lot of those chuggy, riffy guitars without so much of the epic synth for most of it, and they're doing a lot of the blast beats. And yeah, it just wasn't as pleasing to me. But they do pepper in some cool synths at parts. So it's like, all right, well, it's still, they've got that fun stuff that I really like, but a lot of stuff that's just more abrasive and less pleasing to the ear. So yeah.
Well, that takes us to the penultimate track, track number 7, World Expiration, Brother Dave.
This is an album track. Brother Paul?
The intro is just, I say, quintessential black metal. Like if you hear it, it's like, oh yeah, this is the black metal song. This is what black metal sounds like. I have no problem with that. It's a little bit, it shifts to something a bit more melodic, and yeah, he really likes that certain guitar squeal that he uses on this album. And you know what? So do I. There's a nice instrumental break or riff at 2:04 that takes us back into some chaotic drumming, and the verse. I mean, there's a fun solo at 3:30. It's a good song. It doesn't need to be 6 minutes. Brother John.
Yeah, it's more Taco Bell menu items. They're just mixing and matching the ingredients and giving us something else. But that part at 2:04 that you called out, that I liked that part too, but it was pretty short. It's like got a nice little melody and a cool bass line, but it's not super long. But then they do come back to that part again at 2:47 to
Mhm.
3:15. And about midway through it, about 3:02, they drop in another layer of synthy key stuff into the mix. So I thought that was like the standout part of this song. I like that. Overall, it's more the same goodness they've been providing, but this one again lacks major hooks, is what my notes say. Though it did have that nice interlude part, so I still enjoyed it. And fade out to finish it off.
All right, which we go into track number 8, Into Silence Embrace, Brother John.
All right, so let's see. At 2:04, there's sort of a memorable interlude part that breaks up the blast beats, a key-laden melody that sounds pretty cool. And at 3:34, the song basically ends, but then it goes into a sort of a circus organ part, but it wasn't too over the top circusy. But it's that not a dark carnival.
Dark cabaret.
Dark cabaret. Yeah, maybe. Well, I don't know. This was maybe more of a dark carnival because it did sound just slightly circusy to me. And it was fine, but yeah, and I enjoy having it on, but then no hooks, it's good background. If you want like just some filler music that's in the symphonic black metal genre, this album is great, and this song is just another one to express that point. Brother Dave?
Yeah, this whole album is really listenable, which has been like a criticism we've had of earlier black metal, that it's just not fun to listen to. This you could listen to this all day, and it's not annoying, it's not grating for the most part. It's occasionally silly, but yeah, it lacks those hooks, and it lacks the dynamics to help you distinguish one song from another. And I mean, case in point, this is the last song, but you could literally have put any song here and it would have fulfilled the role just as well. So while it's not a bad song, it's just kind of another song. Brother Paul?
Yep. I mean, this is the Ender song. I like the intro a lot. I think there's some drumming that adds some tension to the song in the intro. And then it becomes a song that is just like the rest of the album. I was listening to this before recording, and I was like, wait a minute, is this the last song? Like, oh, this could go anywhere. There's nothing to distinguish it as like this is the close of the album. It's like, hey man, I got 8 songs. They're all variations of a theme. Throw them in whatever order you want, Peter. Like, I'm going to find a
Peter's
space.
I'm doing my
Yeah.
best here, bro.
Yeah.
And then it ends, and if you're listening to the album on repeat, it starts again. You're like, you can't tell that it's the
Right.
first song either, because it's just like they're all just another song. It's like, where
Just
am I in this?
An Ouroboros of Galder.
I could imagine a picture of him eating his own feet.
Oh, well, now it is time to consult the blasphemeter, and to tell us all about that is Dr. Brother Dave.
Blasphemeter?
The Blasphemers is our penultimate segment, where we decide how vile and subversive this album truly is. Merriam-Webster defines blasphemy as the act of insulting or showing contempt or lack of reverence for God or something sacred. We've put together a 6-tiered ranking system, patent pending, going from 6 all the way down to 1. Of course, we have the truly blasphemous, a 6, sacrilegious, an insulting and direct affront to God. A 5, a godless endeavor. No insults here, but the contempt is palpable. A 4, none for me, thanks. Polite refusal to accept God's greatness or divinity. And then we have the purity tests. A 3, you can't say that. Praising the Lord, but being a little too vocal about his institutions. A 2, you're doing it wrong. Only the most stalwart evangelicals would find offense here. And a 1, Triple M certified, blasphemy free. God has truly blessed this album. So, there's a lot of Satan talk on this album, about worshiping Satan and embracing evil, etc. And there's only passing mention of God, in that we will be erasing our memories of him. So, openly embracing Satan instead of God, I mean, that's blasphemy for sure. And it's probably the first clear instance of blasphemy that we've had all season. I find the Cosmic Enlightenment Event Horizon direction of that blasphemy to be relatively interesting. And he also is kind of leaning into the ridiculousness of evil. Uh, so it's tough to take seriously, but still, blasphemy is blasphemy. And I give this a 5 on the blasphemeter. Truly a godless endeavor. Brother Paul?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. There's enough Satan talk to be like, well, we can't be doing that. But there is enough also just like cosmic horror to make it fun for the blasphemers, I think. So I am going to give this one a straight up 5 as well.
Yeah, I think this is certainly a godless endeavor. It's glorifying the coming reign of Satan and expressing desire to join him as a demigod of sin and murder, etc. He longs for the power that Satan can presumably give him, and he's okay with the death and destruction that comes with it. Maybe he should have been a capitalist instead of a black metal musician, but it does seem more pro-Satan than anti-God to the extent there's a difference, so I too will give it a 5, a very godless endeavor.
All right, and with that, let us kick it over to our resident rankings expert, Brother John.
All right, you blasphemers, our final segment is Bop or Flop, where we decide, does the album slap or is it crap? We have honed our patented 6-tier ranking system, going from 6 all the way down to 1. We have the Bops, a perfect 6, unassailable. This album is imbued with the power of the Dark Lord himself. A 5, like to stand on that thing, a banger we could easily listen to again and again. A 4, or that's doable, a very solid album, worth checking out. And of course, there are the flops. A 3, it lacks zazz. A 2, sorry, it's not my cup of tea. And a 1, belongs in a garbage can. So to me, this is pretty much like the definition of that's doable. It's solid, it's enjoyable, it's worth listening to, but it basically lacks the extra zazz or hooks to elevate it to the level where I think I would keep coming back again and again. Having dived into this album, though, I will definitely listen to more of what Old Man's Child has put out because they have, I don't know, like what, 6 albums or something? And, this was good. So I would like to hear more of what they have. Whenever I need some symphonic black metal in my life, this is a solid place to go. I just don't see myself keeping this album on repeat just for the reasons we've discussed. There's not a lot of hooks and it all kind of sounds the same, but overall still good stuff, and what they're doing is well done. I would recommend giving it a listen, and I will give it a solid 4. Brother Dave?
This album, it's well executed. I mean, I have some minor drumming quibbles with it, but other than that, the musicianship and the production, they're top notch. There's consistent quality across all 8 of the album tracks, maybe a little too consistent. I do trouble I do have trouble finding anything truly distinctive about the songs. They kind of blur together. They lack hooks, and they lack that variation in tempo or tone that might help set songs apart from one another. So while I didn't dislike anything here, it ends up feeling very samey by the end. And I feel like this is the poster child of this. It lacks zazz. There's no zazz to hook me. So I'm gonna give this one a solid 3. Brother Paul.
I think this album is the epitome of that's doable, and I'm going to give this one a straight up 4. I think it is a well done symphonic black metal album. It's got good production and musicianship. I don't really think there's a bad song on the album. But while there's nothing bad, there's also nothing exceptional going on. So this is competent symphonic black metal, which I am more than happy to listen to, but there's nothing especially groundbreaking or compelling here that would necessitate a higher score.
Brother Paul, straight out of my book.
I know. I was gonna say, when you said your first line, I was like, I have that exact same line written.
Yeah. Like, oh, quick, change it up a little bit so it doesn't look like I copied it.
I'm just leaning over, reading your paper to write it down.
Hacked my phone so you could see my notes as I take them in real time.
Yep. Oh, well, heretics, that's all for this week. Stay tuned for the next episode where we will discuss the Crown's 2002 album, Crowned in Terror. Until then, do what thou wilt, my brothers.
Hell yeah, brother.
Released March 13th, 2000. Brother John, give us the top hits of the day. Tell us where you were at that time.
Oh,
Okay,
well.
hold on. Let me redo that.
Retake. Fair enough.